Estelle Witherspoon, a spirited organizer and civil rights activist who marched alongside Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., Senator John Lewis, and others from Selma to Montgomery in 1965, helped transform economic reality for Black women artisans and their families in Wilcox County, Alabama, through the Freedom Quilting Bee. Mrs. Witherspoon was born in 1916 in Rehoboth, now Alberta, Alabama, spending her entire life as a citizen of Wilcox County. Using the honorific Mrs. tonight acknowledges that, in that time, few Black women would have been addressed by whites with this signifier of respect. The young Estelle Witherspoon seized every small opportunity to expand her education. At school, she developed her skills in reading, writing, and math, all of which she gave back to the quilting bee in her adulthood. In a time and place where many children of sharecropping families attended school irregularly, Witherspoon was lucky to have a dedicated teacher, Miss Irene Bryant.
Despite her limited licensure, Ms. Bryant allowed motivated students like Estelle, if their parents could spare them, to return year after year upon completion of 6th grade. In this way, Estelle was able to achieve an education equivalent to 12th grade or even early college when traditional high school was unaffordable. This instinct of Mrs. Witherspoon to take what small privileges she had and return them manifold to the benefit of her community would consistently characterize her work with the cooperative movement throughout her career.
In 1966, Mrs. Witherspoon composed a fateful letter to Father Francis Walter requesting his help in setting up a quilting cooperative. Father Francis had recently begun working with the quilters of Gee's Bend, Alabama, and facilitated the first auction of Gee's Bend quilts in New York City. Father Francis and Mrs. Witherspoon agreed that a workers' cooperative organization had the most potential to empower the Black women of Wilcox County, one of the poorest places in Alabama, with many families trapped in the exploitative sharecropping economy. On April 2, 1966, the Freedom Quilting Bee was legally incorporated with Mrs. Witherspoon as its president. Her home served as its first address. More than simply collaborating well with like-minded women, Mrs. Witherspoon had the singular gift of bringing strangers into her fold. As Freedom Quilting Bee's sales manager, she worked closely with gallerists, business people, buyers, Wall Street brokers, and leaders of other cooperatives. According to her daughter, Louise Williams, she was a true believer that you should treat everyone right, not treat them how they treat you, but treat them right and you will prevail, even when confronted by those opposing her work. Witherspoon's radical hospitality and ability to negotiate and collaborate with people from all walks of life would prove to be the driving force of the Quilting Bee for decades to come.
Some of the many benefits of Freedom Quilting Bee's success extended beyond the members of the co-op. They established a daycare center, after-school programs, summer reading programs, available to all community members. Freedom Quilting Bee also shared their assets by making their buildings accessible to the community, and in one case they sold 8 lots of land to families who had been evicted from sharecropping just because they had registered to vote or attended civil rights meetings.
Under Mrs. Witherspoon's leadership, Freedom Quilting Bee was one of the 22 founding members of the Federation of Southern Cooperatives. Of those charter members, Freedom Quilting Bee was the smallest and the only one run entirely by women. Estelle Witherspoon's legacy goes beyond rectifying the economic injustice and deprivation of the communities she served. The success of Freedom Quilting Bee includes recognition and respect for the quilter's artistry. Today, quilts hang in prestigious museums across the U.S. and abroad. It is a long, and some might say unlikely journey from the dirt roads and sharecroppers' fields of Wilcox County to the pages of Vogue and House Beautiful and the walls of the Smithsonian Institute. It certainly cannot have been an easy one, yet Estelle Witherspoon traveled that journey, and importantly, she did so not alone, but with her fellow co-op members by her side at every step. We hereby honor the light of an unsung hero, and with her all-Black women whose hard work, culture, and artistry can be seen stitched into the very fabric of Freedom Quilting Bee. For her foresight, leadership, and marketing skills, but also her dedication and cooperative spirit, we honor Estelle Witherspoon tonight with induction into the Cooperative Hall of Fame.